afternoon, friends. Dr. Kalam has already arrived at the hotel. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, former President of India. Thank you, sir. We are indeed privileged, honored, and feel blessed to be with you today. I would request our chairman to welcome Dr. Kalam with a shawl and a bouquet. Thank you, sir. I will now request our chairman, Shri S.K. Roy, to give his welcome address, please.
Good evening. It's my great privilege to welcome Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, former President of India, to the 55th All India Senior Divisional Managers Conference. Sir, this is the group of business leaders. 113 of the participants run businesses with turnover of more than 300 crores to up to a few thousand crores. There are heads of department from central office who led on policies and processes, who are also very eager to participate in your address today, sir. Friends, as I mentioned, it's our great privilege that sir has accepted our invitation. Please note that sir has landed at 4:15 and he has a flight to Hyderabad at 7:30. So his visit to Mumbai is only to address all of us. Friends, Avul Pakir Zainal Ubeddin Abdul Kalam, our respected sir, was the 11th President of India from 2002 to 2007. He has a very unique privilege that he is the recipient of Padma Bhushan, Padma Vibhushan and the Bharat Ratna. Born on 15th of October 1931 in Rameshwaram in Tamil Nadu, Dr. Kalam studied aeronautical engineering at the Madras Institute of Technology. He played a key role in the development of India's first satellite, the SLV-3, which launched the Rohini satellite in 1980. Thereafter, he has created a tremendous record of research and guiding the space and missile movement in India. Sir, since the day you kindly consented to address this conference, tremendous enthusiasm is running through the corporation. This is another testimony of your magnetic and inspiring personality. Friends, we are very privileged to have Dr. Kalam with us. He has been called many things, but I thought another very apt description of sir would be a saintly scientist. Since sir has a flight to catch, our time is at a premium, sir, I'll request you to kindly address us. And after that, after sir's address, there will be a short question answer session. Thank you very much.
Friends, I am very happy to be with all of you. They are setting it up what I have to talk. What I felt, the business what you are doing, life insurance business, it's a unique business. You are insuring the life And also you are assuring a good way of life, and it's a beautiful thing what you are doing for many, many, many decades. But a new situation emerging. There is competitive world. Life insurance, once upon a time, you are the leaders and you will be the leaders. I don't doubt about it. But you have to live in a competitive world. Because after all, competitive world, you know what it is. And we are competitor for people of India. Competition is very important because we have lived for centuries without competing, and that's why we are a developing nation. We are not developed nation. Developed nation, only 8 nations are there. G8, you would have heard about it. I hope India become G9, China will become G10 or G10, G9. It all depends how we do the business competitively, because that time has gone. Because we want to compete and we want to be economically developed. Economically developed nation and competitiveness go together. This is what my talk is going to be today. Okay? The talk is okay. The whole talk is going to be how to survive in a competitive world India. Can India become G9, G10 or G5, G4? Or is too much for us? And we have lived for long, a great nation, but lived long in a developing country. So that's why when I became a chairman, TIFAC, Technology Information Forecasting Council, when I was a Defense Ministry Secretary, Defense R&D, we were assembled 520 experts. We tried to see whether at that time our economy is very bad. We were even ready to sell our gold, whatever stock we had. We had difficult problems. We had Narasimha Rao time and Manmohan Singh, finance minister. Then the reform started. They are the people, these are 2 people started the reform, the economic reform. Then we assembled this Technology Information Forecasting Council, 520 people. You guys are ready? It's not otherwise I can do. Ready? So this we 520 people we met, different experts at different locations, but we are connected. 20 of us council members, from government secretaries, chairman of the industries of different FICCI, CII and all. We all assembled in TIFAC Council, tried to, what is the mission for us in a country where economy is in trouble. So then we found our mission can be something to do, can we dream economically developed nation. Everybody laughed in those days because GDP almost 4.54 GDP was there. So whether we can do it, that was the debate we had. One young person said, yes, we must become economically developed. We should have a vision, a mission. And then we started India Vision 2020. India Vision 2020. By the year 2020, India has to be economically developed. This is about 15 years back. We took a decision. And many things, good things happened afterwards. Our IT come in a big way. Our farmers started producing 250 million tons of food per year from 65-70 million tons, and our industrial production very good. Now it's not good. Industrial production very good. So all those things happening, and pharma was started doing very well afterwards, and so we found a lot of success stories. And of course, then the crisis started. The world crisis. Some bank collapsed somewhere in USA, or in Europe something happened. So all these things brought our GDP to 4.54 GDP brought up. So still I'm going to talk to you. We had some sort of strength we can manage. Now improvement has taken place. So shall I start my talk? You want to give some ideas for my talk? You can, since you heard me. I am going to talk to you. The subject I am going to take is the competitive India. How you can play a role because you are a big economic center. You are helping the government economically. But you have to help the people, not the government. The people who insures you have to help. You have to see the amount of money what he or she insures. How much I give him back, what percentage, double, triple, is not how much you pay to the government of India. Government of India will survive without you also. But if you want to survive, you have to support the people. Is the theme is correct? This is the theme I am going to talk. Or you don't like this theme? You don't like this theme? Okay. Friends, good afternoon to all of you. And I am indeed delighted to address at the annual conference of All India Senior Divisional Managers of LIC. I have put here, what can I give, what can I give, what can I give? 3 times I have put. That's a motto of LIC. What can I give, what can I give? Reverse of what can I give, what is that? Reverse, what can I? That's the trouble India is going through. So, your mission is what can I give? LIC mission is what can I give, not what can I take. That's a bad mission. So friends, my greetings to all the senior divisional managers and also other dignitaries who assembled here from Life Insurance Corporation of India, and guests and special invitees. I understand that LIC of India is the largest insurer in the country, serving more than 30 crores of policies, having a life fund of 16.07 lakh crore. You are rich fellows and assets worth rupees 17.69 lakh crore. LIC has a committed workforce of around 120,000 employees and about 11.63 agents. They are the connecting fellows and who strive to continuously serve the customer better and better. The customer service better is a very important. It's not only agents have to do. The top boss to everybody has to do. Because future demands that. If you want to be competitive, if you want to compete with the world insurance companies, you have to have a motto, what can I give? How can I serve better? If these 2 things only make you competitive. Now there are 73 customer zones you are connected very well, and nearly 32 to 33,000 premium points. These are all I read from your website, and 2,000 Life Plus offices, and where from the customer can expect personalized service, I understand. In the insurance sector, the LIC has a market share 68% among the 25 insurance company is going to increase. 25 insurance company going to, because our billion people, naturally everybody want to come to India. So you don't get satisfied. You're going to be 25 insurance companies. More competitive insurance company going to come. More competitive. My greetings to LIC leadership and management, administrators, development officers, agents for achieving their success. I would like to share my thought. The topic I have selected, I hope you like it. What I will be remembered for. The topic for you, next 30 minutes I am going to talk what I will be remembered for. Because each one of you assembled here, by name you should be remembered. So you ask, for example, you see this light. See this light. See the bulb. Immediately you remember a guy. You ask your child, your boy or girl, they will say it's Thomas Alva Edison. Okay? When the aircraft sounds here, you ask your children, they will say it's Wright brothers. When the telephone bell rings, whether it's a mobile telephone or real telephone, they will say it's Alexander Graham Bell. Your children will say. Because we remember them. They have given us. Same thing the Indian scientist. One Indian scientist asked a question. He traveled 1920s. He traveled from London to Calcutta. And he saw in the sea, the horizon was blue, sea was blue, and sky was blue. He asked why. Of course, he has to do the research for 9 years. Then he found that sky is blue, sea is blue at the horizon because of backscattering of the light for he got a Nobel Prize. Sir C.V. Raman. So they are all remembered. Now, since you are all senior divisional officers, leaders in LIC, at the end of the meeting you have to ask yourself, you have to write a small, in computer screen you write, or write in a small paper, whatever will be remembered for. That means you have to do something. The whole division will remember. Or few villages will remember. We have 600,000 villages. Nowhere in the world has got such a population, 600,000 villages, where 750 million people live there. 75% of people live there. What you have done? LIC, what you have done? To 600,000 villages, 750 million people, you ask yourself, what I have done? Then you will be remembered. If you have an answer, what you have done to your village, or villages, or cluster of villages, then you will be remembered. It is not what you have done to the government of India. That is your duty. But all that you remembered is by the common man in the islands, in the villages, where struggling produced the rice, wheat and give to you. He gives 260 million tons per year. In spite of rain failure, harvest failure, rain damage, in spite of that, nearly we are not importing. So friends, what will be remembered? Now, that's the topic. What will I be remembered for? Each one of you ask me the question. The topic I have given, what will I be remembered for? Now friends, now I would like to talk about national economic development and creative leadership, both two different things. One side, national economic development, that what you are one of the partners in the economic development. Another side, creative leadership. I am trying to find a link between the economic development and creative leadership. I am connecting the competitiveness and creative leadership through certain well-known methodology. I have evolved a methodology. You can participate in the evolution of competitive world to a creative leadership. Competitive world will have a creative leadership. Give me example. 600,000 villages, LIC, what it has done? A question. 600,000 villages, where Max not Bombay people, Mumbai people, don't worry. Such type of people, only 300 million people. Remaining are all living 600 villages, 600,000 villages they are living. What LIC has done? You have done a lot of things, I don't know. But that's the question, you have to get an answer. Friends, what I'm trying to do, a prosperity of the nation is empowered by the economic development and great human character. Do you agree? The prosperity of the nation is empowered by economic development. You all agree. Now I am having a formula. So I am going to develop a formula. You are participating. I am saying my first statement, the nation's economic development is powered by competitiveness. Nation's economic development is powered by competitiveness. Any dispute on that? Anybody says no? Something new if you have got, you tell me no. Because I have addressed this for nearly to lot of people, lot of institutions. I teach IIM also, Indian Management at